So you serve as Commissioner of the Oklahoma Department of Public Safety, and then also Brigadier General for the Oklahoma Army National Guard. How do you do that?
Just try to be organized. I've had these dual roles. Joined the Guard in 1983, joined the Highway Patrol in 1990, and just having good people that I work with and being able to manage my schedule a little bit to pay attention to both sides of the either uniform, the Highway Patrol uniform or the National Guard uniform, because I think both are really honorable professions.
Absolutely. Let's start with public safety first, Commissioner, if we will. Just tell us, we want to know more about the role of Department of Public Safety, but you in particular, tell us about your role as Commissioner, your responsibilities.
Sure. As a Commissioner, I joined the Highway Patrol in 1990. You alluded to that. And for the first part of my career, I thought the Oklahoma Highway Patrol was its own state agency. Oklahoma Highway Patrol is a division of the Oklahoma Department of Public Safety. So the Highway Patrol is always going to get all the attention because of the role that we play across the state. But we have about 600 or 700 civilian employees at the Department of Public Safety also. All your DL testing, records keeping, records that we monitor. When you see a big lumbering load going through your town with oversized load, we permit those loads. We do about 1,000 a day. That's how many loads are going across the state. So I'm really proud of the total role as the Commissioner, and I'm really grateful that the Governor gave me an opportunity to serve in this position.
I guess I fit into that category because when I'm thinking of the OHP, I'm thinking as a standalone, that it is the Department of Public Safety. But in your role, you deal with the terrorism aspect.
Absolutely.
I mean, the Department of Public Safety is a lot more than OHP, as you said.
It really is, and I'm not trying to diminish the role of the patrol because that's a life or death profession, and I feel deeply about that. But there's so many ways that DPS affects just people in your communities and around Oklahoma, whether it be driver's license testing, CDL testing, or the terrorism piece that you talked about. We're always vigilant about that. There's a big issue going on now with the pipeline protests. And if you look at what took place in North Dakota,
right,
$30 million worth of damage there. That pipeline is taking place here in Oklahoma. So we're trying to be very proactive, very leaning forward so that we can prevent something like that happening in Oklahoma. And so we're very vigilant when it comes to things like that.
Just a few weeks ago, General, we had General Robbie Asher visit us here at Enid Television Network Studios, and he was telling us a lot about the support role of the Army, National Guard here in Oklahoma, especially when there's tornadoes, there's storms, or any disaster, that they're in the support role. They're not really the lead role. They're there to support.
Right.
So, Brigadier General and you're the Assistant Adjutant General. Can you tell our viewers basically your role there in the Oklahoma Army National Guard?
Sure. I was fortunate enough to be promoted to Brigadier General in the fall of 2014. So I'm General Asher's Assistant Adjutant General. And like you talked about with natural disasters in the state of Oklahoma, if there's a fire, or a flood, or a blizzard, the National Guard is right there. And ironically, we work side by side with the Highway Patrol, so I'm always in a pretty unique position to have visibility on both organizations. But pretty much any time the boss can't be here or he's engaged elsewhere, it's my role as the Assistant Adjutant General to step in and be there in his behalf.
As we were talking before our interview today, I had seen a lot of your presentations, if you will, or your interviews on Oklahoma City and Tulsa media. So you're very visible with Oklahoma Army National Guard and also as Commissioner of Department of Public Safety. How does that role fit you? Because you seem to be the face, if you will, of Department of Public Safety. Because people look to you for answers when they come to interviews.
That's right. I'm just trying to do the best that I can with it. When the governor moved me from major to commissioner, it's kind of a bit of a learning curve to jump that many steps, but I've been at it 7 years now, and I think the one thing that the public demands is an honest accounting of what your agency is doing or what's important to your agency. And sometimes I have to answer very difficult, very tough questions, sure. But the truth is what it is. And if there's things we can't share, certainly, but to the extent that I can share information about what's going on with our agencies with the public, because the public deserves to know. So that's why you see me sometimes answering some of these difficult questions.
General, if you would, just kind of tell our viewers some of your notable command assignments, if you will, because they can go to your Department of Safety website and they can look at your bio, which is rather impressive. So you have a lot of credentials. Can you share some of your notable commands and where you've been? I know you went to Iraq, is that right? Or Afghanistan?
Iraq a couple of times.
Okay, because I remember reading that in the bio.
Yes, sir. So in 2002, I went with a group of soldiers from this part of Oklahoma, the 179 Infantry, which is based, a lot of people live in Enid and drive to drill. And we got sent to Kuwait just on a normal peacekeeping safety mission to do static security. And then the war started, and we were in Kuwait. And then there was a shortage of soldiers in Iraq, and the call came out, if you're in the area, load up, you're going to Iraq. So we went from a total static security mission to full-scale combat in a matter of like less than a week and a half. And our soldiers did so well with that. I'm so proud of how our soldiers performed in that. It's one of the proudest moments in my career to being the Sec Corps commander for the 179. Another notable for me, being caught to Katrina. You know, Wednesday, on August the 31st, I'm doing my job as a captain with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, 2005, and I get a call that we're going to Katrina. I said, okay, when? This now. So I basically went and showed up at the Armory that evening. I was there by 7 p.m., packed and ready to go. And by Friday afternoon, I was in New Orleans, which was just remarkable to me. When you think about truck drivers and police officers and farmers dropping everything that they do, put on a uniform, get on a plane and go to New Orleans. And I'm so proud of New Orleans because I really felt that we made a difference there. When we left, I could see the difference that the Oklahoma National Guard had made.
Well, we're certainly proud of our affiliation, the city of Enid, with the Oklahoma Army National Guard. Our city manager, Gerald Gilbert, or Colonel Gerald Gilbert,
great guy.
We appreciate his leadership as a city manager, but also his leadership and his commitment to the Oklahoma Army National Guard. As you mentioned earlier, you joined in 1983 the Army National Guard. So my question to you is, why was military an option for you or on your to-do list?
You know, I graduated high school in 1981.
And that's Purcell,
Purcell,
correct?
Oklahoma.
Okay. So you're a Dragon, is that
I'm
right?
a Purcell Dragon, absolutely.
Okay. Sorry,
Very proud
I know
Dragon.
that's personal information, but I'm a Perry Maroon. So,
okay.
so those things are important to me. So, okay, Purcell Dragon, and you graduated from high school.
Yeah, and I'm growing up in Purcell, you know, and you know, I visit a little bit about backgrounds, but you know, when I look at these titles, that's why I don't take them attached too much to them. My mom called me Mike, Michael, and
Okay.
Titles really are just titles because my mother was a maid. I didn't have a dad. So you're growing up poor and you're figuring out how are you going to get through life, how are you going to accomplish some of your goals. And the military was always there. And I just wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than what I am, something bigger than myself. And I joined the military, had no clue what I was joining, what I was going to do. And here, 33 years later, here I am still at it. And, I have a deep admiration for the Guard and the military and the role that the military plays in our nation's defense.
Education definitely is important to you. How does that prepare you for your role as a Brigadier General in the National Guard, but also as Commissioner? A lot of education here. It's had to have helped.
Absolutely. I'm a big advocate for education. For me, the big push is the military made it mandatory. So it wasn't as if I had a choice. Okay. I mean, when I was a captain, the military, the Army came out and said, if you want to be a major, you need to have a bachelor's degree.
And don't sometimes we need that type of encouragement?
We need a little motivation. Because frankly, I'd gone to college on a basketball scholarship. I was a student athlete, and I paid more attention to being an athlete than a student, and I'd gotten married, so I thought it wasn't in the cards for me. But I really wanted to continue to keep going with the military, so I just started working at night and on the weekends, and before long I had that degree from Langston University, and I was so proud of that. And you know, I have two sons, and I really wanted to set a good example for them, and my wife was very supportive, and once I got the first bachelor's degree, I said, well, I can do this master's degree. And then I got the second master's degree, and I started on my doctorate degree, but then all the mobilizations kind of changed that. So
Sure.
I've kind of postponed that dream a little bit. But, you know, my oldest son has graduated from West Point. My youngest son now is in medical school at OSU. So the example that I set for them, that me and my wife collectively set, it's really something we're proud of and something I'm
Sure.
very much an advocate
Well,
for.
congratulations, and I know you are a proud dad.
Overly proud.
To see those achievements.